What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have an interview that is a bucket list interview for me. It is a band that has been around in Oklahoma City for 16 years before death metal was even really accepted or popular whatsoever in Oklahoma City local metal. Before we had all the deathcore bands, the metalcore bands, the black metal, the technical death metal bands that exist now, before any of them we had Broken Flesh, a band that faced so much adversity, so many trials, so many just so many obstacles that they had to overcome just because that they loved metal and they wanted to do what they wanted to do. And it was what they felt called to do. And after their 16 years of playing shows and writing and giving us awesome, amazing memories, the time has come for Broken Flesh to hang up their live shows and to close the book on that chapter. And we had the opportunity to sit down with Brandon, Kevin, and Brian and talk about from the beginning to where we are now, good times, bad times, and we had the opportunity to thank them for everything they've done for Oklahoma City metal. Check it out. You guys have a hell of a legacy. 16 years of brutal death metal. And I just kind of wanted to go from the beginning and we'll talk about kind of what led up to now, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
When you started Broken Flesh, did you imagine it would go this far and become what it is?
I didn't originally know. We just got together to try it out the first time, really, to see what would happen.
Right.
I told him he could find a real death metal drummer. I wouldn't be offended because I was playing like Slayer stuff, but he showed me like Malevolent Creation, and I was like, yeah, that's going to take some homework, buddy.
Right.
So,
tell me how you guys formed and how the journey began.
So I'm just minding my own business, and here comes this wild, crazy dude.
I already think this is a lie.
No.
Just kidding.
No, we had a mutual friend, Josh Kidd, and was like, you guys are both meatheads and you guys both want to play metal and brutal stuff. So eventually we all ended up jamming together. I think I jammed with Kevin before Steve Maxwell, another founding member.
No, we were all there the same night. It was all the same night.
It was the same night?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was all the same night.
And yeah, so it was like mutual friends.
Right. So you two are the two of the founding members, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then Brian, you joined a little bit later on.
Yeah, I've been in the band 4 years now.
Okay.
But Kevin and I go way back
Right.
to the early 90s.
It seems like
late 80s.
so many of you guys go way back because I brought you guys up to my uncle and he's like, yeah, I've known them for like 20 years. And I was like, okay. My uncle's Matt Holmes. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, yeah.
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 So
He used to be in a band with him. Yeah.
he's a interesting dude. Anyway, back to the questions. When you guys formed, was there a goal in mind, or did you guys just want to play?
There was a goal in mind. My whole deal of I was really wanting to start a new band. I had the thought, the vision, whatever you want to call it, around 2003 that, I was writing worship music at the time and playing in a church and started getting this hunger to play death metal again, like really, really bad. So started writing death metal stuff at church. And since I was the pastor, I could kind of do what the hell I wanted to up there. So we played death metal stuff at church, whether people liked it or not, and started messing around with it. And I had quit playing for a long time. This guy had been going the whole time, but I'd quit playing for a long time. And focus on family stuff, you know what I mean? My family was pretty tumultuous at the time. Took in a couple of boys and stuff like that. Had to adopt some kids, so everything got kind of rocky for a minute. When I started playing music again was with him, and that was in October of 2004. That time he came over, but I had not played in like '99 since like '99 when I was in a band with this guy.
Right.
So when we got going, it was pretty cool because I was trying not to get too excited about it because I had You know, we're believers. You guys know that. You know what road we walk on. And I'd been praying about this band thing ever since our church blew away, May 2003, because my whole church, the whole building, everything was gone. I lost my guitars, lost my bass, lost my PA, lost my stack, lost everything, you know, and didn't have anything to play with for a long time. And I was really upset about it because we couldn't go reach kids anymore. You know, that's what the ministry was all about, was going to reaching kids. So I was driving around one night upset and praying about it, and like told God, man, you get me some money together, I'll get a new band going. And like 2 weeks later, this dude shows up on my damn driveway with $5,000 and a check and gives it to me. And I go to Guitar Center 4 days later and meet this guy. And that's how the band got started.
And I told him for a mere $5,000 a year, I'll play drums in your
Yeah.
band.
I mean, that's still less than like a minimum wage job.
But that's how the band started. It's pretty epic. He was playing in a drum off up there. That's how I met him.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I quoted As I Lay Dying in that drum off.
Nice.
And some guys were like, if you do a blast beat, you're never going to get to finals. And I was like, brr, brr, bop, 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 bop. And I was like, you know, I was like, I want to play
I was
blast
so glad to
beats.
see him do it.
And
But I felt the connection with him immediately. You know, as soon as we met. We didn't get together for, that was in 2003. We didn't get together for another year and a half. So, you know.
yeah, I moved off to
Amarillo,
Amarillo
yeah.
to start
Amarillo by morning.
it was going to be like a Christian radio rock band,
Christian.
like Dream Theater, but more radio friendly.
Right.
This really killer guitar player dude, but it seemed like it was going to be an opportunity, but then it didn't really wash out, so I moved back, and then finally got to jam with some meatheads.
Find it ironic that everybody that talks about killer guitar players always goes killer guitar player. Everybody, it's a universal thing, dude. All of us do it. We talk about a killer guitar player.
You gotta do the
We all gotta do it, man.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I was like, wow, I do the same damn thing.
So you guys got together, you started writing, jamming,
Yeah.
and everything. So tell me about your first show. Where was that? When was that?
Man.
And how did it go? Because
It
first
was
shows,
awesome. As the first show
Against
goes,
72,
it was
what up?
killer, man.
We
But
played against 72.
that was in
Ryan George.
June 29th, 2006.
Sure.
ish.
Who's going to call him out if he's wrong?
I mean,
He does this a lot.
2005. 2005.
What time o'clock?
It was 7 o'clock in the evening because I had to go around and meet all them Grandpa Johnsons in the overalls to make sure they were going to be all right with what we did, you know, because we were going to be a little different than what they were sitting there getting ready for.
so were you guys the only death metal band on the bill?
Yeah.
Well, against 72 is
No.
they scream and stuff.
Yeah,
They're-
but yeah.
you know, they're kind of like more technical,
More like August Burns Red or something like that.
kind of like that, I guess. Yeah.
You guys were quite a bit different.
Yep. But it was cool. But it was outdoors in Maysville, Oklahoma, in the middle of downtown. They had a fair, and it was like an outreach ministry for this church. And so they put on this big to-do and had all these bands come in and play on no stage in the middle of the street. Really bad PA.
Were you a
It was my
three-piece?
PA. Yeah, it was my PA.
So it was you two and Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you broke a string,
My guitar went out. Input jack or something went out on my guitar.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he's running around like the Hulk, just with a microphone, and just Steve on the guitar.
Yeah.
Steve
That was our
always
first
had.
show.
I want to make a note of Steve's cool hair. Steve always had crazy, like it would be like long hair at the top of his head, and then all jacked up around the sides, and then he would headbang and he had some good windmills.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was pretty cool. Like this guy's
He used to do spin
windmilling,
kicks on the stage and stuff too.
spin
Yeah.
kicks.
I will miss that about having hair is the windmills. That was fun. But I cast aside my hair for
But it
immortality.
was really a nightmare. But we made the best of it. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
a nightmare. We made the best of it.
Well, it's not about the bumps that you face on stage. It's
Right.
about how you handle them and move forward.
We
'Cause-
had a lot worse bumps than that down the road, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay. You know, a lot worse.
Yeah, recovery live though is a big thing. Like
Yeah,
if something
especially
goes
for
out,
us.
We've
Yeah.
been put to the test too. We've done well. We've done very well. I had both my stacks come down in the middle of a set.
Oh,
oh man,
Yeah.
We've had some great monitors, at some shows.
Right.
Out
That's
of
not a good
16
average.
years,
Pretty
maybe
rare,
10
yeah.
times have I had the monitors I really like on stage. Maybe 10 times.
Yeah.
Shout out to TXDM Fest.
Yeah,
That's always
all
been
10 times. It was all there. No,
pleasant for
I
them.
don't even have like a quarter of the experience you guys do playing live, but I will say that most of the time I can't hear crap.
Yeah.
We don't
Like-
really have that much
Yeah.
experience.
Well, TXDM, we get treated pretty well. And,
Every show is different.
And
Yeah.
we get crushing
Every
monitors
stage.
usually at TXDM. We usually have a side field on stage bigger than most of the PAs here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So we get the full broken flesh experience in our ears,
Man.
you know, and that helps. You know, it really
Yeah.
does. It increases the intensity how we play live for sure.
Yeah.
You know, makes it easier to feed off the crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's nothing like, just full acoustic though, whenever you have to know your part and listen in to the other members.
Dude, so much air guitar.
Yeah.
All I can hear is me screaming. That's it.
Yeah.
I can't hear Lopez. I can't hear anything. Can't hear my guitar. All I can hear is me screaming. I can hear his hi-hat every once in a while, hear China every once in a while, and know his patterns.
Yeah.
And just, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
And
Okay.
memorize all parts in my head and have a hell of an imagination. And I just imagine the sound of us playing at practice and just focus on that. And then fake it, you know?
Yep.
What you got to do a lot of times on tour, especially on tour.
How many tours have you guys been on?
Not near enough.
Yeah? That was almost practiced.
Dude,
That's the one thing is we'll always
Not
probably
near
feel
enough.
like we didn't get. There's so many places we haven't even got to go once,
yeah.
like the West Coast, you know.
Okay.
Russia,
Yeah. Traveling
Yeah.
abroad.
Philippines.
Do you guys have a favorite
Brazil.
place to play that you have gotten to play to?
I don't know, man. There's been a lot of favorites now.
I mean, anything we do in Mexico is
Yeah.
just a little extra. There's the food. The people
Yeah.
there are so friendly. It's just
The crowds are
crazy.
so
I
huge.
remember a picture, I think it was you posted of like from your drum set facing the crowd.
oh yeah.
And it was like 2 diamond ballrooms of people. I was
Yeah.
like, holy crap! There's so
We
many
had 2
people
circle
there.
pits that night.
That was unreal, dude.
Or was it 2 walls of
2
death?
walls of death.
They both
Wow.
both sides participated.
What's
was
it
good.
like playing in front of that many people?
Heart
That was
failure.
awesome.
Complete heart failure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was intense, dude.
The more people there are,
I
it's
needed
like,
a 400-foot cable or wireless that night, dude, because I was.
He was trying to do the axle running across the stage.
Well, it's so damn
Yeah.
big. You can play football 2 times on it. You know,
Right.
Wow.
it was huge.
The more people, it's like you've done the homework, you've got the muscle memory, you've played this material for years, you know, or you've, even if not for years, we play in the jam room like we do on stage and leading up to shows. Sometimes we'll ham it out even more if we're all having a good night, energy's in the room,
Yeah.
we're just in the jam room, but you know,
Yeah.
the jam room's heard some of our best material of
Yeah.
all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's where you always sound the best, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's where you
But I
play
mean,
the
you know,
most.
we've had some runs in different eras, and I think right now, like the tightness on stage,
It's
that
the
we have,
best. Yeah, I think.
it's pretty tight. I mean,
And that's why we run it back up. This one shut off. My next question was, what was it like coming up in the Oklahoma metal scene, specifically as a Christian death metal band?
as you would expect.
Because, I mean, I
Man.
can't tell you how many people, like, when I say Christian death metal, like, that's not real.
Christ
Well,
core?
you know, I mean, like through the '90s, we had a couple of bands that were
Yeah.
Christian bands, death
Right.
metal bands,
Yeah.
Obliteration and Death List, you know. And I mean, we were well received,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, we'd been around the
We
scene
weren't.
for a while.
When we
already.
started, we
Yeah,
really
we weren't
weren't.
at
Kind
all.
of knew a bunch of people already. We knew a bunch of bands. We'd already been playing shows, you know, before that.
I was
Yeah,
already in
we're
with
not.
Max. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
So when
you
I,
know,
you know,
it
when
just
I was in evisceration,
was
with
never
them,
really a
just
thing
transition.
to
Yeah.
anyone, you know.
We were playing direct support for all the national acts right off the bat as a Christian band then, because I had made contact with Max Baker, and he was using us to play damn near every show.
Yeah.
Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, everything, you know.
You know.
And so as we transferred over to a Christian band, we still got to open our first show was opening for Napalm Death, direct support.
Wow.
It was awesome. We got to hang out with Napalm Death for like 3 hours before the show that night, talking about Jesus with them. That was crazy, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So it was kind of like a back and forth almost. Like on one hand, you had all these awesome shows coming your way. On the other hand, people were not thrilled about a Christian death metal band.
No,
Well,
not
years
exactly.
later when we started,
Yeah, it sucked.
it was a different scene too.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
a lot of stuff had changed.
We
You had
couldn't
the
get
download
shows,
era.
yeah.
The download era was the difference between that time
Yeah,
before
yeah.
and then when Broken Flesh started. It's like we already went through the whole Napster thing, you know.
God.
So like, and it seems like,
Yeah, we came in at a
promoters-
bad time trying to be a death metal band. A really bad time.
Yeah, the whole music, the local scenes got weird because promoters figured out, well, high school bands bring more people. And so, like, these younger bands had the authority across the whole country.
Pay
It
to
wasn't
play,
just
you know.
one scene that had it was everywhere. It was like younger bands that sounded, like beginner bands that were getting started. And they'd have a ton of people you would never see at a metal show. And then they would, open up for the big bands, and it just seemed like a weird dynamic.
Right.
So we were coming up in that, like, well, we're not in high school anymore. Okay, well, all right. Okay, how do we, and Cornerstone.
Yeah, that's how I
Cornerstone
got
is
started.
really,
It's like previous to Broken Flesh, I was in a band and we didn't have anyone until Broken Flesh. We didn't have any death metal bands to play shows with. We played
we
with.
got to play with you pretty early
Just-
on
yeah,
at the what venue was that?
That was the Diamond the first time we played with them. No, it was
No.
Purgatory.
Purgatory,
Yeah,
Yeah,
old
man.
Blunt Force Trauma. Yeah,
way back.
My uncle used to talk about Blunt Force Trauma.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his band.
We didn't
yeah.
have any other bands to play with.
Yeah.
Death metal bands.
Well, he told me all the time you guys used to play with like punk bands and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Right.
Played a lot of shows with
whatever
play a lot of shows with
other
Element?
underground, a lot of shows with Element.
Yeah.
Just
I got
any other kind of underground music,
We've played some odd lineups, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy those shows more?
Nope.
No.
They're
What was
still
the?
fun.
We played with a rockabilly band in Detroit, or
Hamtramck, Michigan. Yeah, right outside
Yeah.
Detroit.
this little bitty bar. We show up and we're like, "Are you kidding me? Let's make the best of this, guys. There might be one person here that loves us. We'll do it for them,
Right.
whatever."
And we got the power shut down on us in the middle of the set.
It was interesting.
Like on
Shut
purpose?
shut down?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Why?
Because they didn't like us.
Oh.
It wasn't hard to figure out.
I mean,
We just packed up and left, man. We didn't ask any questions. We got out of there.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean,
that's a long
that's
way
fair.
to go for that.
Oh, we had dates lined up.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
well, still to travel all that way and then have the power cut off
That
on
was
you because
like
they
the
didn't like your
third night of
set.
tour, third, fourth night.
That also makes you question who didn't like it. The venue owner, the sound guy.
Well, we
Like-
had two guys outside afterwards, each give us $100. And so they kind of made up for not getting anything from the door.
Right.
And then one of them took us to his house and put us up and fed us the next morning and was giving us real hardcore IPAs. Oh, they were a bit bitter that night that he makes. Jeremy Thurman, that's a good dude. We've met a lot of killer people along the way, man.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a journey. It really has.
This question kind of ties into the last question, but I guess we can go a little bit more in depth. Have you at any point, whether now or back when you started, do you receive a lot of hatred and ridicule from people for being professing
Oh, yeah.
Christians but playing such brutal, angry sounding music? Because I've heard I still hear the statement. I want to slap people when they say this, when they say Jesus and metal don't mix, because metal's a sound, not a topic.
Yeah.
But is that still as prevalent in your lives now as it was when you began?
It's always there.
Right.
But you learn over the years how to just not so much grow thicker skin, because that really has nothing to do with it.
Right.
You're going to feel what you're going to feel.
Mhm.
But it's more about how you navigate through it.
Right.
You know, like you don't want to go ripping somebody's head off just because they disagree with you. Everybody should have a right to say what they've got to say, regardless of whichever side of the fence they're on. Everybody's got a right. As long as they're not hurting each other,
Right.
we can be civil. You know what I mean? I don't see any reason why there can't be civility. Be humane to each other, you know?
Right.
So, regardless of the subject and band matter, we've been able to, in Broken Flesh, we've opened for Goat Whore twice.
I was at one of those.
And, you know, that was it was an experience because, you know, a couple of the members wasn't too happy about playing with us, you know?
Yeah.
And had some things to say about it. But that's okay, you know? That's their right to say what they, like I said, that's their right to say what they've got to say. But it was an honor to open for them. They're one of the most crushing live bands touring right now, you know? They're tight, dude. They're killer.
Yeah.
You know, they
Zach's cool.
yeah. The drummer's killer, vocalist killer, guitarist is killer, the whole band, just bass player, tight, man. Doing a really good job. But we got to open for them twice, and that was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool
Right.
experience because the place was packed, you know. Both times that it was the conservatory then, you know, 89th now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Old
when the
school
stage was
conservatory,
in the corner.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's what it
And the
was.
sound booth
Oh, yeah.
was in that back corner by the exit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the same
it's
place
been
it was
set
for
up
that
like
Whitechapel
that
show, yeah.
since
Yeah, because I
all
remember
time.
because your vocalist didn't even fit on the stage,
Yeah, he was in the
and
pit.
he ended up being in the
Same with
pit,
Black
and that's
Dog
why
Murder. That
that's
was a
why-
good show.
that's why I kept getting thrown into him, and he just kept launching me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
he
do
was
this.
fun to hit in the pit because he's solid.
Yeah, it was like hitting a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm a big dude. I've always been pretty big, but when I hit him, I just went like.
Did you guys ever get the chance to play at the Sela, the church on I-40 and
Oh, Anderson?
Anderson?
Oh, yeah, several times, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice little homegrown venue, backdoor alley kind of
Yeah,
thing.
we
Yeah,
played
it
a
was.
show with the
That
Hill of
was-
Diap on there. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
Robber.
We
and,
saw Great Robber, right?
yeah, and Ben played with him too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like two different things.
Awesome.
Close
No
to
one
home, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
no one remembers that venue. I'm so happy to talk
And
to
Die
you
to
guys
Yourself
about
was
that. Dude,
part of our
oh,
life
Die
back
to Your
then, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, we were pretty close with them back then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've met a lot of people over the years, man. It's been crazy.
Yeah. So
It's got to be there.
over the years, I mean, everyone faces trials and adversity in their life. But I mean, just as long as I've known you guys, like and I know we've never been like super close or anything, but just from what I've seen on like social media, you guys have faced a lot of adversity as a band as well as your individual lives. How did you find the strength to continue through all the trials that you've faced along the way? And
We felt driven to do it, man.
We argued over riffs,
Yeah.
and we got that shit out on each other instead of diluting it out into the world on our friends and families.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you
Made
know.
some really angry death metal.
There's been a lot of not like a lot of tension between us.
know.
Like us three sitting here, it's been relatively chill.
Yeah.
It can get a little heated over a riff. No, that's 3 times. No, you played it 4 times. It's 3, bro. It's like the same amount, but we just perceive it differently.
right.
So much of that stuff, but yeah, there's been a lot of challenging times where we've had to almost kind of help each other get up. Like, hey, you know,
There's been times where we've been dwindled down to a 2-piece to the point of having to play 24 shows in 1 year as a 2-piece.
Right.
That was challenging. One of them opening for Goat Whore
yeah.
as a 2-piece.
So what was that? Guitar, vocals,
Me
and
and him. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
damn.
We played Cornerstone 1 year like that.
Wow.
We were going to start counting the number of drums and cymbals and guitars in the band as how many pieces we were.
Yeah.
But
I mean, with your kit, that's like what, 30?
I don't have actually a whole lot for, you know, I had a couple phases where I was getting up there, but I've always been on the moderate side of how
Right.
many cymbals I had.
I mean, it's not like Rush or anything.
Well,
I think
you
you
know,
could
kit
use
that goes
more-
all the way around you.
More toms,
It's-
more cymbals.
It's just extra work that doesn't translate
is.
to the
Right.
audience.
But you're a
You
drummer that could eat it up.
yeah.
Well, you
At
know
least
what
like a
sucks
9-piece.
is
You know.
babysitting gear. We're always in a scenario where my
Oh,
drums, I've got to keep an eye on my drums,
Right.
you know.
Oh, I know why you do it. And I think it's a good idea. You know.
I mean, this
For the
guy
most
had
part.
his guitars jacked, and he was
Yeah.
doing a good job keeping his eyes out at the show.
Yeah.
When it happened to him, can happen to anybody. So I'm always, you can ask anyone I've ever jammed with on the road. Like, I am paying attention to my drums.
Right.
And I'll be a jerk. I had plenty of diva moments where these guys would help me in the past, and I would be pissed off because I couldn't make my mental checklist because something's in the wrong place. And it's like, that was overkill. You know, we're all working on our bullshit all the time, I guess. But I got to say that, and an experience in Broken Flesh, I never had to complain about anyone helping me with my drums. I hear a lot of drummers, and I think it's maybe their personality. But I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like, I feel guilty sometimes if I start setting up my drums and they're still unloading.
Right.
So I feel like if there's gear to be unloaded, we should all chip in. But it's like, it also sucks if we're in a hurry. You got to get your kit out. You got to get somewhat warmed up. You have to get some kind of normal going. It's
Yeah, we've had a lot of shows like Exodo Fest, where every Exodo Fest, and I'd go do them another 100 years if I could. You know, I really would. But every one, you have to be at the airport. What is it, 4 o'clock in the morning here at Will Rogers? Okay, so you're up the whole night. You're not doing anything. You got to get to the airport at 4 o'clock. You're not doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? You're excited about going. So you're up all night. You get to the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. Flight leaves at 6 a.m. You get to Dallas. You leave Dallas, I think it's always at 9:30, 9:55, something like that. And we get to Mexico City between 11:30 and 12 every time. And get there. It's about 2 hours usually at the airport waiting to find the ride, getting the ride. 3.5 hours later, we're finally at the cabins up on Exodo Fest to find out we don't have one to go set up at the festival grounds all day long to get told, you're next.
Yeah, so that was like
a couple times.
From 4 in the morning to we go on stage the next evening, and there was like no rest.
Yeah. And playing at like 1 in the morning.
Oh.
I have a newfound respect for bands when I was younger and had no experience traveling. You would meet a band, like I met Mudvayne one time. I had a cool mohawk, so the guy throws me a VIP pass in line. I got to meet him. Those guys, I knew they weren't being jerks, but they were just not happy to be there. And it kind of was like kind of a dull moment, like, oh man, I love these guys. What's the deal? And then after our experiences, traveling to Mexico and getting a little bit of that jet lag, and it's like, okay, like, wow, anytime you meet your heroes, not that I'm not referring to us, I'm saying like huge bands and they're a jerk to you, it's because probably jet lag or stomach problems. Man.
Yeah, because that traveling country to country will tear you up, man.
Yeah. Move along. As long as you guys have been at this, do you have a show or a tour that stands out the most in your minds, or just even a favorite moment?
Tour-wise, for me, it's the one the three of us went on. And that's the one to Mexico. Yep, it was killer.
Yeah.
The bus with the temperatures of death?
Bro, the pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have to say. The pyramid.
Sun and the Moon Temple in Mexico, we got to go check out. I think we climbed the moon one.
No, the sun.
The sun.
Yeah, we climbed the sun. And it was like, was it 495 feet or something like that? It's huge, dude. Yeah, steep.
It's big.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Quite a view. Cool. That tour was killer.
The bus at times would be frigid inside. The heater or the air conditioner would go out.
Bro, wait a minute. Hold, time out. Time out. Remember this? Okay. Remember the cows?
The cows?
Yeah.
You remember the cows?
Yeah.
The cow experience on that tour. I have to interject this because you're going to remember in a second.
I don't remember the cows.
We ran out of gas. We're in the middle of nowhere. Okay, nowhere, Mexico, Jack. Nowhere.
Straight up like a movie.
Bro, it's Tumbleweed City, and there's cows. I'm having to chase cows. I'm out there playing with cows and shit.
Yeah, there's no fences or anything. Nothing. They're just hanging out.
I was waiting for like a turtle with a head.
In the language barrier, we're trying to figure out what's going on, you know? Like, Brian and I are standing outside the bus like, what's up? We look over, and they've got one of the big doors up on the bottom of the bus, and the gas tank's just sitting there, like a big plastic jug gas tank. And I'm like, what's he doing? And dude, I watch him go over, lay hose out of the jug, and switch it over and pull that jug out and put that hose in another plastic jug just sitting there. And then go try to start the bus. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? We're traveling Mexico in this bus?
We switching gas tanks today.
Yeah.
Bro, this was like
That
day
bus
6 of the
was
tour.
heinous.
This wasn't like day 1 or day 2 or anything. It's like we done been there a minute and just now seeing this part of the bus. It's like, oh my gosh. So it's
Anyways, you would wake up frigid, and then you'd wake up sweating, like,
the bugs, bro.
oh, and then there was it was.
I had bug bites all over me because it got so hot I had to
Yeah.
take my shirt off on the bus. And dude, my knees was just tore up with these bites, bro. Tore up. I had extra nipples, dude. Had like 5 nipples one day. Man, woke up like, what?
Yeah.
I'm
Not
like,
again.
dude. Some kind of alien Mexican space bug or something, man, just tatted me up on the bus. And I wasn't the only one. The other boys that was sitting there with all naked chested was all extra nippled too, man. All of them was. Some kind of bug was tearing us up, man.
It was a good time though, man.
Oh yeah,
Great
oh yeah.
tour.
Not to be. It's just those things are gonna happen, and
Yeah.
Those are good memories to me now. You know what I mean?
But the
It's
Well,
like
they're not
scenery.
fun in the moment,
No.
but like,
Yeah.
I made the best of it laughing about it because it sucked, you know.
the
It did.
scenery was incredible though too, y'all.
Yeah.
The
I
thumb
mean,
rock, dude.
Right,
Yeah, we were-
driving through clouds and mountains. I mean, some of the terrain was just gorgeous.
Right.
So,
I poked my thumb with a piece of metal the first show, and it was like, was it the next day or the following? It was
Started getting infected.
turning all black and green. And
was
stuff,
it your
dude.
strumming hand or your fretting
It
hand?
was my fretting hand, but dude, it was like turning black and starting to spread.
I don't know if that's
Black-
any better, honestly.
And, so in the hotel room, I had to like put some alcohol on my knife and dig it out. You know, it
Oh,
sucked ass.
Yep.
It hurt, dude. Like dig it out.
That's gross.
I did. Good memory now. You know.
Right. So, as a more experienced band, I like to ask this to the more experienced bands I talk to, that so many bands break up over little things, and they break up after a year or 2 years. But you guys have been playing shows and touring for 16 years.
Well, not
And-
the whole time.
Well, right, but you guys have been together for 16 years, and you've managed to still stay together. I mean, you not the original members except you two, but is there a secret to like staying together as a band, or is it just
You've got to be selfless, man.
right?
You have to have some sense of selflessness to you to be able to allow the semblance of other people and their faults. You know, because everybody's got them. So you have to get that way, or you can't exist as a band.
Right.
You know.
I think it has to be about more than just your band,
Yeah.
too. Like, some of the stuff we've been through, if it was just for sweaty armpits and no meaning behind it, and, no way, dude. But it felt like, hey, we're going out here, and maybe someone will hear a message tonight that changes their mind on thinking about suicide, or that they find some kind of hope that
Yeah.
just gets them through to the next day.
No
Right.
doubt.
Maybe a little bit of light. We get to be a part of that. And we've had plenty of broken people approach us and say, hey, when I was younger, I could only listen to Christian music. Your band sounded not like everything else, or you kind of gave me that heavy edge. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. And, it's funny is when we started, I told him, I think it'd be cool if we could hit the shelves in some Christian stores and sound like Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
Or, hit them hard with machine gun drums and hopefully decent production. And,
No doubt, man.
because man, when we first started, production was still extremely expensive.
Right.
I mean, you were going to put some income tax money in, some saved up money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my uncle had mentioned that he dropped like $5,000.
Yeah, I was
recording
easy
an
to drop
album.
$5,000
Oh,
recording
yeah.
an album.
5-6
dude.
grand.
Yeah.
And to hit a shelf on a Martell's, like that production has to be there. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about
Hit a shelf
not
anywhere.
only the type of
The
music
most
that you want,
snobbish sect of Christian music that there is.
but yeah, the quality
Just
they're gonna
snobby,
need.
dude.
Right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, you get judged on everything you do.
Right.
It's worth it though. 100
So
times over, man. It's worth it.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Always good.
I guess I gotta address the elephant in the room, so to speak, your guys' retirement from live shows. So, for those that didn't see the post that you guys made on the official Broken Flesh page, because Facebook decided to remove that,
Yeah.
which I'm still infuriated about.
Yeah, me too.
What
We accidentally, us as people in general, have made the mistake of giving Facebook power like that.
right?
That's our fault, all of
Yeah.
us together.
Right.
Everybody on this freaking planet. Turn that crap off. Let's find
Yeah.
other ways.
You can see that's why we got so much stuff on our website. Because
Yeah.
I will not give Facebook the
We'll
power
have
to
a
erase my life's
website up
work.
eventually.
Yeah,
where
I'm not
it'll
putting
be
it
on
the
our
Facebook page up.
terms.
Anyway, could you explain, just for those who didn't get to see the post, what led to the decision to retire from live music?
It's not their decision at all. It's mine.
Okay.
They don't want to stop playing live, and I don't want, I don't want to stop playing live, but it's getting to where every show that we play, as much as I enjoy playing, it's one of my favorite things to do in this world. It makes me really sick every time now. So it's like, how long do I keep pushing myself like this,
Right.
Comes a point the guy's got to stop, and look at what's around him.
Right.
I got a wife whose health is going downhill and stuff like that, who needs me to take care of her at home. So there's a lot going on in my life, and I've got 30% blockage in my heart as it is now. And it's making me, like I said, really sick when I play. I've got to be around with some kind of health to take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what do I do? Do I go out and keep pushing myself live and drop dead on stage one day from this cardiomyopathy that I have? Or do I do what the Bible says and lay my cross down?
Right.
Lay it down. It's
Right.
not, is this really mine to carry? Do I have to do this,
Right.
Am I doing it for me now? Or am I doing it for Jesus?
Right.
So I'm really weighing a lot of things out in this.
Right.
Because when I started, I was 100% doing it for Jesus, and I still am every time we do it. But he doesn't require me to go up on stage and kill myself to serve him.
Right.
So many people view Jesus as a bully in this world, and he's not at all. I've never doubted. Once I chose following, like 2 weeks before Christmas in 1989, I've never turned back from that decision. I've never decided to walk away. I've never regretted that decision. It's been a decision I've been proud of my whole life since then. I'm not the same guy I was when I made that decision. I've done a lot of growing up. I've done a lot of growing. I've raised kids and been married now, and I've seen a lot of life. And this band has been one of the best parts of my life, right along with my family and kids. It's been amazing. So giving it up is really hard. Playing live part of it. We're not giving up.
Right.
We're still going to record. We're still going to write. Still going to continue on in that sense.
Yeah, someday there will be new material out.
Yeah.
Someday. You don't know when, and neither do we.
Sorry to get emotional. It's just
I
hard
mean,
to talk about this stuff.
I'm gonna get emotional in about 20 minutes. So you got your farewell show coming up August 14th.
Right.
Yep.
And so tell me about the bands you're sharing the stage with for the farewell show, because I'm gonna be honest, I can't read two of these fonts. Center of Disease,
Yep.
Archon, Discordia,
Yep.
Will Grimm Brown, and a lot of spikes.
Taking the head of Goliath.
Discordia's on the final?
Yeah.
Dude.
Going to be a new opener announced. Will Grimm Brown won't be playing on the 14th. They'll be playing on another night really soon, like right centered around it,
Right.
But there's going to be a new opener announced really soon. Yeah, the rest of the lineup remains the same. It'll be Discordia playing second. It'll be Archon playing third. Abated Massive Flesh playing fourth. Taking the Head of Goliath fifth. Center Disease sixth, and then us seventh.
That's a hell of a lineup, because there's bands on there I've seen before, but most of those bands are like bands that I've wanted to see that I just haven't had the chance to see yet.
That's cool.
So like Discordia, I haven't gotten to see them live yet. Like if I did get to see them live, I don't remember it because I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
So and Center of Disease, I've caught like the tail end of one of their sets before, but I mean I've been listening to them for a while too.
They kind
So-
of have a new lineup, sort of, or some additional members, I guess I should
Right.
say, or replacements or whatever. But anyway, they're pretty good right now, man.
Right.
And Archon,
Well,
they're not
they're just-
death metal, you know? So that adds another element to the night. you know?
Right.
That makes a good
They're
mix.
close.
Yeah.
Variety is always
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
nice.
I've seen Archon
They're
live.
They're metal, yeah. They're heavy, dude.
They're thrash.
killer.
I've actually
they're-
played with Archon
They
once.
ride that line of
Yep.
almost death metal.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is my final question for you guys. Broken Flesh has been, I mean, in my opinion, the most influential band in Oklahoma, especially for extreme metal for years now. Do you guys ever sit back and kind of think about like the lives you've touched, the people you've interacted with, people you've inspired?
It's hard to look at myself that way. I don't know how the rest of the guys feel, but I have a hard time looking at myself like that. So, you know,
Well, I reached out to some people, and I asked them to share a little bit about maybe some of their experiences with you guys, and what you guys have taught them and meant to them. And we were able to get a hold of some people that you guys have shared the stage with multiple times, and well, we'll just let them talk.
Yeah, we cut together a video for you.
Cool, man.
Hi, Broken Flesh.
Hey guys. While he's pouring that,
Bill asked me to express what Broken Flesh means to me, and honestly, Broken Flesh, first off, those guys are just so nice, so down to earth and everything. They've been around for so long.
You guys have been around since I started back in the game a long time ago.
I'm here to say thank you
Oh, my
personally
girl.
and for a whole lot of
Yeah.
other people, because not only have they changed my life, but they've changed their lives and they've changed the metal scene just completely. The whole demeanor and everything about it. I mean, they set the bar and they always have for years now. I guess I'll start with meeting them. I met them because I got put on a show for an old venue called Your Mom's Place. I took some pictures of them that night, and they ended up sharing and loving my photos, and that's kind of where it all started.
You guys were one of the first bands that actually, you guys struck me really hard from like the get-go. And you have, not only from talking to you guys, but also playing like a billion shows from, Against the Damned, Aussteigen, even Depraved. You guys have like influenced me to be a better musician.
Like, they were one of my first shows in Oklahoma City, and they really introduced me to the local scene into this with like open arms. I remember the first time I went up to like Kevin and Lopez and everybody, and I was like, they acted like I was their best friend, even though it was like the first or second time I even met them. Like, it was crazy.
Huge inspiration to me as a musician here in the OKC music scene. Thank you for everything that you've done for us as musicians and laying that foundation for our metal scene.
I guess we played with you guys the first time in January of 2012 in Tulsa
At the Marquee.
at the Marquee. That started a long, funny issue with Sybil.
Romantic.
Long romantic intertwinglings.
I just want to thank you guys so much for subjecting me to the brutality and beauty of Broken Flesh and all that you guys have done. You guys are truly a great band, super amazingly talented and humble musicians. And I've watched you guys growing up and seeing you guys get up on stage and absolutely destroy it every single time, every night that I watched you.
Matter of fact, you guys helped Dragon, especially my oldest. You guys really helped him get into, Christian-based metal, because that's what he wanted to listen to. And you guys' message has definitely been a very positive thing on him.
You might not know me very well, but I've got so many memories over the years of just small interactions with you guys at shows and even at Guitar Center, where you guys were just top notch and really treated me like just like family, and I really appreciate that.
That first show, we had to borrow something from Lopez's drum kit. I don't think I was working with him at Guitar Center yet, so we kind of like knew each other. Like, hey, you're a good drummer. Hey, you're a good drummer. Don't look at me too close.
Lopez didn't say that about him.
No, he didn't. That's true. He was like, just don't. Intertwingling. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I kind of just remember always growing up when I was getting into music, Lopez working at Guitar Center, always hooking me up, getting the right stuff, sending me in the right direction. So that was a big influence on me as a musician. Going to a lot of my first local shows to see them.
Jump forward to a few years, we're playing more shows together, the Chameleon Room, Oklahoma City, and Lopez helps me take a rack system off. Great set, whatever we all say to each other all the time. And my cymbal clamp that I borrowed from him on that very first show comes swinging around with a china stack on it and basically clips him in the teeth. And he just yells at me, and I never heard it. And that became a great long friendship with Lopez. We've stolen many things from each other now.
Just that amount of brotherhood that they shared with people they barely even knew, it just showed that they really cared about everyone and everybody that came out to their shows, and like anybody that would buy merch from them and like come and listen to the music and stuff. They just, and they're so humble. Like they're just the most humble guys. Like they're not big headed ever.
And they have positively influenced the metal scene in such a drastic way that I don't even know if any band could compare to that. Every band makes a difference. Every band makes their mark. But you have to have character. You have to have faith. You have to have pride. And you have to have strength. And giving up has never been an answer for them. At the end of the day, I'm just incredibly thankful. Because not only have they shown other people this, but they've shown me this.
It truly left an imprint on me as a person and a musician. I'm very thankful I even got to share the stage with you guys at least once with my band Deity, and that really was a full circle thing for me, watching you guys grow up and being amazed at what you do, and then getting to finally get up on stage and just share it with you. That I will always remember, and I'm super thankful for.
And I'm sorry to see you guys go, but I know, man, you guys have left one hell of a mark on this place.
I think we play with Broken Flesh more than most other bands. It might be the band we play with the most around here for sure. Yeah. So, long time playing with you guys, and we're going to miss playing with you in the future.
Really bummed we can't put together one last one, but
we're glad to know. We'll still be putting out music.
Exactly.
And we'll enjoy you that way, but we'll miss seeing you on stage and being gross and sweaty with you on stage.
Before they made the bill, apparently.
I'm very honored to have shared the stage with you a million times. You're all fantastic musicians, really great people. Thank you for everything that you've done. I love you guys so much. Just the greatest people ever. So thank you.
Thank you, Broken Flesh. Thank all three of you. Because you have influenced me, I think, probably more than anybody else. All the big bands, the hot shots, everybody that I've photographed, y'all did it for me. And I couldn't have done it without you. Much love.
So that's really all I can say about Broken Flesh. Those guys are legendary, and I'm so sad that we don't ever get to see them perform live again. Anyway, take care. Love you all. Broken Flesh.
I wish you guys the very best in whatever the future holds, and I hope to see you guys around. Much love, and thank you so much for the memories and the inspiration you guys have given me. I truly appreciate it. You guys take care.
Cheers to Broken Flesh.
Cheers. Cheers.
And also Demon Seed is definitely my favorite. Thank you for playing that all the time.
What band is this for again? Broken Flesh.
Broken Flesh.
That's cool, man.
Man, wow.
Bacon
Thanks for doing
fresh.
that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
man.
that's awesome, dude.